the obvious stupid thing is going to get the click.
I honestly don't give a fuck how many stupid media publications want to use the word Nazi just because they fucking can. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's such an obvious thing. Like they didn't learn their lesson.
I'm like, I just don't want to give any more. Like, we're not doing that anymore. Like, they can call Elon a Nazi. They can call Trump a Nazi. They can call me a Nazi. I don't give a fuck.
It doesn't work. Yeah. I think what's interesting though, and that's why I'm looking to speak to Jan tomorrow, is the Europe effect is different, right? Because I'm talking to, so Jan is a German creator. What's up?
For a while.
Yeah. He's a European creator, and this Elon salute thing is like, I asked him, is Germany collapsing? He's like, yeah. It's like he's sending the entire region into a frenzy, and and I get it. There is a sensitivity to that whole thing that happened back in the day, and how that arm movement could stir up a lot of emotion. But it's like, again, I think what's interesting to watch is that in the States, the impact of this thing that they said happened didn't really happen. It doesn't really work anymore. It just doesn't work anymore. The conversation is completely different. People are much more wise to it. When I talk to my usual circles, it doesn't even come up as a topic of discussion. Whereas before it'd be like, oh my God, did you see? Oh my God, did you see? And I think it's a combination of like fatigue, and the media landscape has changed completely. But that's not the case in the rest of the world, especially in places like Europe. Europe, it seems like it's in a much, and I would love to hear for those that are listening to this podcast that are from European countries. We have quite a bit of folks that listen to this from Europe. So thank you so much for it.
I don't know why they do.
I don't know why you do either. What terrible decision, you guys. You got to figure out how to use your time better. But I would love to hear what you guys are seeing in the media landscape from this whole thing, because I think it's a very interesting case study to
And why do you trust the media? Like, I don't understand why there's anyone in the whole world left who still trusts the media. But
well, I think it's because the channels of information have been controlled to a point that it makes it difficult to question if the media that they're being given is legitimate. That's been the battle that the United States has fought through for the last
maybe. Well, so I think
longer.
This gets to the current trend with Elon really starting to stir the pot with European politics, is that there haven't been enough hoaxes that have been publicly debunked en masse that were incredibly important.
Yeah.
And this is why he is, like, whether it's the AfD in Germany not being who they're portrayed to be in the media. And maybe, I'm not an expert in the AfD. I'm not an expert in German politics. I don't know if he knows what he's talking about or not. I know that I don't typically, when Elon is willing to go all in on something, usually that signals that there's something that he understands about that I don't. So I'll just kind of give him the benefit of the doubt on AfD. I don't know.
Yeah. Even if he's imperfect in his approach or imperfect in the information he has, there's enough meat on the bone that there's something there. That's been
that there's at least something that's very important that most people have exactly 180 degrees wrong. Now, that doesn't mean that everything about them is good, but there's some important piece of information that most people are 180 degrees
they're signaling the noise
about. Yeah. And then the one thing that it seems like the evidence really is kind of coalescing around being true is this whole grooming gang thing in the UK. And, it's like if you surface enough big, consequential, underreported, and frankly covered up by mainstream media and institution stories, then you demolish the credibility of these institutions.
Yeah.
And that is what Elon is agitating for right now, for better or for worse. that he views the classical Western ideals that have become very polarizing and very much fashionable to hate on. He views them as good things. The freedom of speech, individual liberty, individual responsibility, merit, and exceptionalism, and cultural roots, and all these things as being fundamentally good things that drove eras of technological progress that were fundamentally good for all humanity. And now that these principles are under attack, he views himself as being a defender of classical Western culture and ideals. And he wants to bring those things back to their birthplace, where they are currently under attack.
Yeah. And it's funny how, what an insane thing to hear that's actually a thing that could be happening in the UK, right? Like that because of the approach. And again, for folks in the UK that are listening to this, please give us your insight in the comment section below. We'd love to kind of see how you guys are perceiving the whole story. But it's like the concept, it's like a repeatable concept that he's been doing, not just with business, but with literally everything he's touched, right? It's like identify root cause problem and huge thing. Okay, hammer to thing. Just fucking hammer. Just who cares? Just hammer it. Hit it as hard as you can, and then let the let the chaos guide the way. Right? Just let the chaos guide the way. And it is so strange when it actually works, because it worked in media, it worked in politics, which are two very incongruent things to what traditionally one person would say is like, hey, engineering is its own thing, science is its own thing, rockets are its own thing, cars are its own thing. And then people are like, yeah, but politics and media, that's left brain, right brain shit. You can't do things that work in the right brain and apply it to the left brain and vice versa. And then Elon's like, yeah, but you're not doing it correctly. You just have to identify the root cause. You have to look at a first principles thing. You have to take the hammer to the thing that's fundamentally broken at the bottom, and then you just have to gut it out. You have to push through, and you have to survive the response, the viral response, right? What's the
immune response?
The immune response. Thank you. You have to survive the thing that's going to prevent you from doing it, and you just keep pushing through. You keep pushing through. And what are the things that you need to push through? You need capital, a ton of capital, and you also need, ideally, a place where you can have the ability to voice your voice. So you don't have a thing in between you and the population whose view or their ability to derail what you're doing, that they are not trying to mold the public's opinion based on what they think they should perceive. You have a direct line to the masses. And it's like, it's obvious that this is where we're trending. It's obvious this is where we're trending.